Greetings, dark and foggy viewers. This is Tovarez Pazan with the iPadBoardGames.org review of Mr. Jack Pocket. What is it about the grisly, macabre side of human nature that is so endlessly fascinating? Take Jack the Ripper, a famous serial murderer of 19th century London, subject of more than a dozen board games in the past 25 years alone. Mr. Jack Pocket, arguably one of the more accessible, has now been ported to the iOS. Can you stop the killings? Mr. Jack Pocket blends fantasy and reality, casting Sherlock Holmes and his faithful associates Dr. Watson and a dog named Toby as the guardians of Whitechapel. They have a maximum of 8 turns to ferret out Mr. Jack from amongst 9 possible suspects. The Whitechapel district consists of a 3x3 grid of intersecting streets. On each turn, 4 actions from a possible selection of 8 will be available. On the odd-numbered turns, Mr. Jack goes first. The detectives get the upper hand on the even-numbered turns. In either case, the first player plays 1 action, the opponent plays 2, and the initiator plays the final action of the turn. The detectives move clockwise around the edges of Whitechapel, and actions include moving the detectives, drawing a card to eliminate or further obfuscate the suspects, depending on which player draws the card, or rotating or repositioning the intersections. Precisely how London's streets can physically relocate is left as an exercise to the player. At the end of each turn, a check is made to determine whether Mr. Jack is visible to the detectives. Whether he is or not eliminates the suspects in the other category. Each turn that Mr. Jack is not visible, he earns an hourglass. If he can get 6 hourglasses before 8 turns elapse, or if he can survive 8 turns without being spotted, he wins the game. If the detectives can see Jack and no other suspects, they win. Mr. Jack Pocket is not a complicated game, and the app captures the artwork perfectly. Ominous music adds to the atmosphere until you get tired of it and turn it off. Where the app falls down, however, is in the various digital bits that have nothing to do with gameplay. The tutorial mode isn't so much a tutorial as it is a slideshow followed by puzzles. The setup for each lesson even includes the word challenge in its description. While it is true that mastering the various puzzles will require you to utilize the skills necessary to exceed at the game, there is zero guidance, just puzzle solving, which makes the mode of questionable use as a tool for introducing the game to new players. The good news is that the single-player mode offers 3 different levels of AI. The bad news is there are no online play modes. The documentation hints at a blitz mode that will offer leaderboard competition, but your options for a live opponent begin and end with the pass-and-play mode, which includes a fiddly, unnecessary mechanic in which the Jack player must physically tilt the device toward him to reveal his cards. To add insult to injury, there is no undo option to be found. Mr. Jack Pocket is a limited game that serves as a great filler, but not much more. With an uninspired tutorial and a complete lack of online multiplay, or an undo button, it's hard to justify the asking price, especially when it's more than half of what a physical version of the game would cost. Digital implementations are supposed to offer advantages to offset the inherent compromises in the translation, and no such extras are present here.